Finally, guys, we weren't able to post a AFL fantasy review this week on the channel. I may post this clip as like a separate thing on the podcast channel, but let's get into a bit of AFL fantasy review because both of us are here. We haven't done one this week. Might as well. Now, I've kind of wanted to avoid it because I had a really poor week, but we're just gonna rip off the band-aid. So, first of all, I'll talk about my team, then my brother can talk about his. I got 1,898 over the weekend. Not very good. There were some reasons why, though.
Oh, there was plenty of reasons why we both had a poor week.
Yeah, so the rank of it for my score for the whole week was 28,156. So that's pretty poor. Anyway, let's talk about some good players first, and then we'll get into the bad ones. So Jack Bowie, brought him in this week, 113. What a performance. High score for the year for him. Great job. Matt Roberts, 96. I'll take that. Bice just continues on. Bice is still good. 72.
You don't need him to get 100 every week.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to put that much pressure on the guy. It's his fifth game.
Yeah.
Like, he can get the 70. That's okay.
He's still making a lot of cash.
Yeah, he's just a cash cow at this point. He is the Sunrise cash cow. Jordan Dawson with the 123. Rosie, 101. Probably should have done a bit better, but I'll take that. Max Gorn with the 125. Jason Horne-Francis, 105. Love to see it. Riley Sanders, great performance from him. Just unbelievable.
I wish I saw that because I don't really believe he got 130.
Trust me, you didn't want to watch it live. It was a fucking dreadful game of footy. But Riley Sanders made it look good with the 130 for himself. And Sam Davidson as well just continues on. 87 points. He just continues to catch.
It looked like he was about to bottom out, and then he just goes bang.
Yeah. Now he may look a bit like a skeleton, but he's all X Factor.
Like you see him on the field with that blonde hair. You would see him at night.
Yeah, I mean, that thing would glow in the dark. Fucking hell, you'd want him walking with you in the dark streets of fucking Adelaide on gather round. But anyway, let's get to the worst players now. I don't want to put too much shit on Luke Traynor because he was the sub. So I'll put this a lot.
I think you're all blaming on the coach.
Yeah, but I think to an extent they're resting him because it's a 5-day break to Anzac round. That's what I think. That's what I think they've done with Luke Traynor. They made him sub. Just don't bring him on at that point. He came on with 6 minutes to go.
Beautiful time to bring him on.
Yeah, because you don't have him anyway.
Yeah, and then the guy I played had him on his field.
2 points. That was just rude. If they just left him off, he wouldn't have lost any cash. Well, his break even would have stayed the same.
Do you also think it was the fact that Noah Bolter played?
No, I think that he's a rebounding defender. I think it was I think it was just that reason. The sole reason that they've had a 5-day break. He'll be back this week. Zach Merritt, 81, not good. Just didn't have that sort of performance against West Coast, which I was hoping he would. Clayton Oliver, 81, could have done better. Will Ashcroft against Collingwood just had a shocker. 41 points, wasn't around the footy. 13 touches, not good enough. Tom De Koning, 62. Starting to get into that territory where you want to get rid of him. He's still sitting around the mark. You got to hold him for now. But, if Carlton start to perform poorly and he's not scoring well, because I know, obviously, Michael Voss is a huge AFL fantasy fan and really cares about it.
I'm just waiting for him to put, Voss to put Pitnet in.
Yeah, when Pitnet comes in, you have to get rid of him. And then, I mean, look, 84 isn't a bad score, but Bailey Smith, I think he could have had a big score. He was on 50 at halftime. I thought it would be maybe done a bit better. And look, again, it's not really his fault, but El Harley, -1. I mean, come on, dude. I didn't even know they would have red numbers in AFL fantasy, and this guy's gone and got a minus. He's got a buddy. That's just unheard of. So, again, he was the sub. It's a little bit hard done by, but he did come on in the third quarter. He could have scored a little bit better than that.
Yeah, I was just waiting for him to actually score, and he
just didn't.
Every part of him tried to not.
Yeah, he just did not want to touch it. So, yeah, that's going to bring up the AFL trades. All right, so I'll get to my trades in a minute. You want to just get to your team quickly. So, you scored 1 point better than me this week.
All right, we'll get to it, yeah. So, yes, I finished in 1899, which was ranked, 27,884. So,
So there was like a lot of people that scored. I think it was like 300 people scored exactly the same as me.
Yeah.
Or you.
So, like most of the good scores were the same as yours. Dawson and all that sort of stuff. Here was another one. Petrarca for me scored well with 100.
Are you going to try and keep him now and put him forward? Probably.
I think so. I think he's scoring those for a forward. You want minimum 90s, and he's still doing that. So I'll still take that for the moment.
Yeah.
I've got other holes to fill at the moment.
Yeah.
Wangani Malera scored again well with an 86, with the same as Jordan Clark.
Considering that St Kilda did so fucking bad, the fact that he scraped to an 86, I think you'll tag.
Yeah. Like the poor performances was Jaden Short. He got 0 in the last quarter in that game.
What did he score? Full score in the end?
68.
So yeah, it just didn't touch it.
Yeah,
in
when
the last quarter.
coming back, when the Gold Coast were coming back, they just kept scoring goals.
Yeah, I mean, some people may have thought they were getting tired. The only reason why Gold Coast even came back in that last quarter was because Jaden Short couldn't touch the footy.
Yeah.
It was the main reason. They're like, oh my god, why is Jaden Short not scoring enough AFL fantasy points for my team? That's why they're catching
100%.
back.
I was looking at the game, like watching the last quarter, like he's nowhere near it. But
fucking hell, the Gold Coast are going to win because Jaden Short is touching the footy.
Christian Moraes scored 30. Half
Yeah.
scored 22 in the first quarter, which was so annoying.
Yeah, didn't get around it.
Yeah, and the last player I want to say is Toby Curvis. 1 point up to half time.
Yeah, we were watching this game, and I couldn't watch it much longer when Toby Curvis wasn't touching the footy. It was,
like in that game, he
gave away a lot of free kicks, especially in that first half.
He got away, 4 free kicks.
Four free
far this season, he's given away 15 free kicks.
Yeah, so he's just tanking your score.
Yeah, at least 1 free kick in every game so far this season. That's just, I've got to try and force a way to get rid of him.
Yeah. So let's get to our trades. So my trades for this week are Zach Reid out for Tunstall and Murphy Reid out for Adam Chera. Now, that's basically my downgrade to an upgrade. Zach Reid, he probably could have another 40k in him, I would say, because he did actually go up quite a lot, even though he only got 33 on the weekend. But I think it's time to get rid of those players. Zach Reid, I'm not really banking on him to score too many more points. I'm relatively comfortable with Trainer and Bice as my rookie defenders at this stage, scoring points for me. So I'm happy with that.
Is Trainer on your field?
At the moment, yes. So, but by the way, if the teams come out on Thursday night, 1 hour before the game, and Trainer's the sub, that trade is getting changed so quickly. But at the moment, I have the feeling that the reason why Trainer was sub was because he was rested for next week. That's my thinking around it. And Tunstall on the weekend, despite the score of only 59, he looked really good. I really like the look of Tunstall. He was one of the few players I would have said, I think that he's going to get votes in the BNF on... When we look at Brisbane's BNF, after they win the premiership at the end of the year, I think Tunstall will get votes. So he was really good for them in a team that played pretty poorly. So I think he'll get a spot next week for the Lions. Again, when teams come out, if he's not in there, that may change that trade. And then Murphy Reid got the Rising Star nomination, I just saw. So, just kind of shitting on him on the way out. But I think he's done enough. He did go up quite a bit this week again. He's 5.13 in price. Again, he probably could score it and get another 50k, but...
Kind of wish I didn't get rid of him in week 1.
Yeah, that was a bit stupid. But anyway, you get Max Hall. He did all right. But I had enough money to get to Adam Chera. So I've put one of my... I think it was I put in... So I got Tunstall. There's a bunch of swaps around in the team. That's why I've been able to pick up a midfielder. But Adam Chera has been one of the most consistent players this year in terms of AFL fantasy. His lowest scores in the 80s. Scored 100 in 4 of his 6 games so far. So I'm thinking that my main objective so far at the moment, before the mid-season buys, is to trade out as many of my rookies that are starting to price out for premium players. That's what I'm kind of looking at right now. So then when I hit the buys or just past them, I will have a full 22 ready to hit the end of the season and try and, you want to, by round 15, 16, you want to be getting 2,200 every week.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to look for. And the rookies that I'm keeping right now mainly are on my team that are at least capable of getting 70 points most weeks. So right now, as my rookies in the team, Bice, Trainer, Levi Ashcroft, Lawler, and Davidson, all of them this year have been pretty capable of getting 70 in most weeks. Now, my next one probably to get rid of, unfortunately, is the GOAT, Lawler, the snake himself. Probably the next one I have to get rid of, but that's what I'm kind of looking at as an objective right now. And the next couple of weeks, I'm probably going to start trading out players like Xavier Lindsay, Christian Moraes, Connor Stone, and maybe Cleary, depending on how much more he goes up in price. He may even lose his spot this week, which I hopefully he doesn't, but didn't have a very good game for the Swans on the weekend. But those are the kind of the rookies and kind of the process I'm looking at going into the rest of the week. What about you?
So my 2 trades were Sid Draper to Hamish Davies, sorry.
Davies, yep.
And Toby Nankervis got rid of him for Chish and Jerry.
So the first one, Davies for West Coast. I mean, that would definitely change if there's another rookie or something around the mark.
It was his first full game as not being the sub. He got a 40. Like, I think he's basically done that in other games. He's been the sub.
What's his price at the moment?
He's 231. So he's printed base price.
So you couldn't use any more of your money for Tunstall?
I could. It will just depend on how trades go. There's like teams come out.
Yeah.
But I had to get rid of Sid Draper. He got 13 on the weekend. He went down in price.
Yeah, so that's time to get rid of.
You just had to get rid of him. And
the Tobin and Curvis trade for Cherry. So Cherry's pretty low in price at the moment.
Yeah, but his break even is back to a price that I know he'll get on most weeks. on most weeks, I think I know a lot of reports are saying that he got absolutely dominated by Tom DeConey on the weekend. Well,
AFL fantasy wise, he was brilliant.
It was a different kind of story. It was a 50-point turnaround.
Yeah.
So I think Tristan Cherry, he can play a bit of the Nankervis sort of role. He can be that big brute in the midfield, but he doesn't give away a lot of free kicks.
Yeah.
As many free kicks as Nankervis.
Well, we saw the ceiling that he hit last year, being one of the best players in the AFL fantasy spectrum. So, I don't mind the trade, but also I didn't start with Nankervis. I started with Max Gawn, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I could have went with Max Gawn. I just thought, well, the fact is that I need to get rid of some other players at the moment, and if I go for a player like Gawn, who's 50k more, I won't have enough to get rid of other players around me. So and the fact is, I also was going to get Gawn for the fact is he has the round 15 bye, which is the last second to last one. So it would have been beneficial if I could, but I needed to take the punt and take Sherry and then get rid of other players like Murray's.
In the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then try and trade them out for then moving some more rookies similar to me. Just get some more cash in, basically. So that's pretty much all we have. Actually, no, quickly, what's your rank in AFL fantasy at the moment for the rest? Because you've been sitting around the mark. You were in the top 200 a while ago, a couple of weeks ago.
The last 2 weeks, obviously, I've skyrocketed out of the top 2,000. At the moment, I'm 2,507. Okay,
so that's better than me, but only about 1,500. So I'm 4,105 in the rankings right now.
So what's your overall score?
So my overall score is 11,613.
Ooh, 11,661. So it's a 50 point, nearly.
It's 48-point difference. Yeah. Fucking hell.
So it does show that within 1 week,
I could fucking jump. 50 points. That's nothing, really.
Yeah, it's 50 points. Like, you could probably get that we could probably get that next week, really.
Yeah, we're just looking at it. I just forgot to mention quickly the AFL Fantasy League, of course, we have for the channel. A couple of big moves in the our channel league. The Cheetah Cubs. First time for him, definitely up the top of the ladder. He jumped, I think he went, with a 2,072 on the weekend. Very good score, I would say. Jumping to top spot. But McCracky, what a name. 2,186. He didn't have Luke Trainer. I'll tell you that right fucking now. Great performance from him. Matthew McConaughey. It's not McConaughey, but it looks like it. He's our celebrity points getter, I guess we'll call him. But he's with a big score. He's jumped into second spot. And Pub Feed with Sauce, we absolutely jinxed this guy. He was number 1 AFL fantasy across the globe, and he's just plummeted. I'm sorry to you, Lucas. I'm sorry. You heard all our praise and just took it on board. You should have completely dismissed it. Now, looking at it, you are in 12th spot on the league. And like I said, 50-point difference, I'm in 24th. There's a huge... between 12th to 24th, there is a 50-point gap. This is how insane... This is why you should have been if you're not in the league already, you should have joined it when you had the chance. You don't have it anymore. This is how exciting it is. 50 points separates 24 and 12. I mean, that's what Premier League's seasons are made of. Points like that. Now, Liverpool are going to win the league, so who gives a fuck about the Premier League anymore? But anyway,